Hey everyone, we're the tiny team. And though we're tiny, we're tackling a big problem here. And we've come up with some big solutions to try and fix this problem. Though you should know that it's key that it's not only us that are trying to fix this problem, but it's all of you as well. You're important, and we'll begin by introducing ourselves. So, I'm Brandon. I'm an education and physics major.
I'm Mariella. I'm studying entrepreneurship and management.
I'm Cody. I'm a liberal studies major with an emphasis on sustainable food systems and small business management.
And I'm Mari, and I'm an advertising and public relations major with a minor in general business.
So, the problems we are addressing are comfort, security, and ownership within the home. Recently, we have narrowed this focus to focus more on comfort and ownership because we believe that if a sense of ownership is developed in the home, it will keep them in their home.
With 912 documented residents experiencing homelessness in Grand Rapids, this issue affects many members of our community. It falls into the general social responsibility as a member of this community privileged enough to have a home. There is always a chance that this could someday be you or a family member without shelter.
Seeds of Promise is a nonprofit organization based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, with an ultimate goal of combating the very wicked problem of homelessness in Grand Rapids. The organization began in 2005 with a mission statement based around communication, community stakeholder empowerment, increasing local leadership, and applying sustainable development practices.
The design thinking process really assisted our team in defining the true problem. As we passed through each phase of the process, we were able to gain clarity on the real issue at hand. As we gained more research from our interviews and secondary research, we were able to develop a problem statement that we felt was best fit for our group.
The most important part of addressing this problem is addressing the people who are involved in this problem. So we have mapped out all of the stakeholders that we have believed to be involved and have continuously been updating this map. We realized that it is important to get the insight of everyone involved because they're the ones that the problem really affects.
We then sought to talk with individuals and organizations from all categories of our map to interview and observe and learn from them. The visuals on our slide represent a majority of the organizations we worked with and have learned from as a team. Speaking to these members from these agencies really helped us in defining and redefining our problem statement throughout this process.
This is what one of our stakeholders, Jim Stearns, had to say. Tiny homes, for me, are a symbol. They represent freedom and control over one's life. The journey, when undertaken mindfully, is really therapy. It isn't even about the house, is it? The house was the vehicle to my understanding. Stearns is working on a similar initiative himself, based in Detroit, Michigan.
In order for our group to move from insights to innovations to prototypes, we began by looking at our initial thoughts on the issue. We then looked at the research we had done in the form of interviews and secondary research. And through this process, we were able to come up with a viable solution to our defined problem.
Our prototypes are centered around workshops where anyone can come in and they can build furniture or they can learn to sew depending on the type of workshop. They will also be able to exchange the goods they make for others or for a type of credit where they can reclaim other goods at a later time.
This design empowers opportunities for skill building in our community. It will allow them to learn and attend workshops that can benefit them in the future. Making their own furniture will allow them to personalize their home and take pride in their work. All of this while creating a higher sense of ownership and feeling like this is theirs.
The development of our prototype was selected as a direct response to problems with isolation and discomfort we found in both our primary and secondary research, as well as an observed lack of participation from the homeless and outreach efforts. We believed it to be essential that these needs be addressed in order to create continued success and sustainability with the homeless community and ensure success in this project.
The benefits we hope to gain through implementing the workshops are developing skills of value for those experiencing homelessness, specifically woodworking. In addition, we hope to have items of value that can be used to furnish the home, such as tables, chairs, desks. We also hope to create a strong sense of community and ownership.
Our focus has been centered around creating this sense of ownership as well as creating sustainable communities. If they're given the skills to learn to build their own furniture, they will be able not only to create things that they see as their own, but they will also be able to continuously improve their neighborhoods and environment.
The community in which we're working with is called the Dickinson neighborhood. 30% of its residents live below the poverty level, 66% are single parents, and 75% of the children qualify for free and reduced lunch. It is located between Wealthy, Griggs, Buchanan, and Eastern in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
As previously mentioned, there were many stakeholders involved in this project. Most consistently involved in this project, however, was the rest of our design thinking class and our professors, who contributed much valuable insight and ideas throughout. We received continual feedback from our professors on everything from methods of dialogue to prototype testing, and gleaned ideas and innovations from our classmates working on their own projects.
Through this process, our group faced a number of constraints, the most difficult of these constraints being the lack of prior knowledge on the issue of homelessness. The second being time limits. We felt limited in the amount of time we had to research and collect data from the individuals. And lastly, the overall unsolved nature of the problem of homelessness.
One of the main problems that has occurred in the implementation of our prototypes has been the idea that many of the people experiencing homelessness are very difficult to contact and communicate with, as they are not able to access the technology we use for communication today.
Current unknowns in our project are the financial feasibility of the implementation of our design, how the homeless residents we're targeting will actually respond to our design, and the unknown if the design will even be implemented at all. While we have heard positive feedback from our stakeholders so far, we are still unsure of this issue.
At this point, we believe the next steps are to find donors and volunteers to run classes and contribute materials, design workshops for the homeless to participate in, continue to test our prototype, and recycle through the design thinking process as problems arise. While we may not be able to carry through these steps ourselves, we hope our work will be a sufficient basis for it to be continued.
Now that the semester is coming to a close and we have selected our final prototype, we ask all of you to help continue our work and the works of others addressing this problem. But we ask that you do not stop there. Take your own initiatives and come up with innovations that pass the rest of us by.